All right, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. Again, hello everyone. I want to thank you guys again for joining today's webinar. And today we will be talking about Desk.com and specifically reviewing the agent console. So this webinar is going to be focused on training new Desk users. Um, Actually, let me go back here. So let me introduce myself just a little bit more. My name is Brian Sa. Here at Desk, I'm the onboarding and training specialist. So my role really here is to create content for new users to be able to learn Desk and really become experts. So, in this experience of onboarding new customers to Desk, we always want to improve and we want to hear from you guys. So if you do have any feedback, please do share your ideas and opinions with us. There's a quick survey after the webinar, as well as a comment box. So feel free to leave your feedback there. All right, so a few housekeeping items before we begin. So the training portion of today's webinar will actually be just about 30 minutes. And during the training session, if you have any questions, feel free to type those into the GoToWebinar questions panel. We're going to save those questions towards the end because I am the only one on the webinar today in terms of hosting. But we do want to give really adequate time for Q&A. So there'll be plenty of time to ask questions specifically about Desk or even best practices as an agent if you guys have any. So we will have dedicated Q&A. As always, our webinars are being recorded. So I'll send this out to you guys after the actual training later this afternoon. So if you want to maybe watch the training later as you walk through your own instance of Desk, or maybe you can't stay with us for the entire time, so we will send out the recording to you guys. All right, so just a quick recap of just to go over today's agenda. So we're going to talk about what is Desk. You may have been kind of handed this new product for you guys to use and get comfortable with. So we'll talk a little bit about what is Desk and how it's going to help you guys as agents. Also, we're going to talk about specifically the universal inbox within the agent console. We'll kind of go through the navigation of the entire agent console as well as kind of overview of Desk as well. We're also going to go through kind of case management in terms of what we recommend, how you guys use Desk for case management. We're going to walk through just the internal knowledge base within Desk and then also talk about case life cycles as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So Desk.com is an all-in-one platform and it allows you to respond to your customer inquiries across multiple channels and provide online self-service content. So using Desk.com, you're going to be able to respond to customers without having to monitor each channel like Facebook, Twitter separately. Also, you'll be able to collaborate with colleagues to resolve cases, by handing off cases or assigning cases to multiple groups or individual agents. Also, you'll be able to run reports on key metrics, things like, first contact resolution rate, average response times, even your customer satisfaction through just a quick survey. Also, another key benefit will be the ability to view and create public and external articles. So, for those questions that you get over and over, you can now allow your customers to answer their own questions through finding those external articles. All right, so let's actually go ahead and dive in. So let me just switch over to our agent console. So what you're looking at now is the agent console, and I'll start with the icons here at the top. First here is the side menu. So clicking the three-bar icon here opens up our side menu. So let me walk you through the different options here. So first off, we have the classic agent, which is the standard agent console, and these are used. This console is used to work on support tickets. Next is the next gen agent console, which is the next generation of the classic console. And this is where we are now, and you'll notice it's been reskinned with modern look and feel. And this is in fact the console. The next gen agent console is the one that we recommend that you guys start using right off the bat, get comfortable with. And this is the console where we will continue to make improvements and add features and whatnot. Next here is Business Insights. This is our reporting tool. You will need to have admin access for Business Insights. Next is the admin console. And this is the area which is used to configure settings and automate workflows, another area that does need admin level privileges. Lastly here, or next here, is our Get Help area. This will simply direct you to Desk.com support area. That's our external knowledge base. And there you can find answers to really commonly asked questions or even how-to articles. So really great resource for you guys. I highly recommend that you guys visit that. And then lastly is the knowledge base. And this is the actual internal knowledge base. So I talked about the Get Help area, which is our external support center, our knowledge base. Then this area is actually our internal knowledge base. So you can actually view those external articles, but we also have the ability to create internal articles for workflows. All right, and just to note again, to review again, the business insights and admin areas, you will need to have admin level access in order to access those. So once again, today we're going to focus on the next gen agent console here. So continuing on at the top here, we have our case inbox icon. So anytime that you navigate away from this page, you can go ahead and click here and it'll bring you back to this screen. Again, and this is kind of your inbox where you guys as agents will go to view and select and update cases. All right, just to the right, we have our quick search area where you can perform searches for keyword, customer name, case ID, and more. And then to the area to the right of the quick search, we have our case creation button. And this is where you can quickly on the fly create a new case, whether it be a phone channel, email channel, or social media channel as well. This area, which right now is blank, but I'll show you in a little bit. This is where when you start opening up cases and working on cases, and a lot of times we work on multiple cases at a time. So this area at the top is where those cases will show up, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a little bit. And then to the very right here, we have our profile. So if I click on the down caret, then we have, first of all, some keyboard shortcuts. So this is a really great area, if you're really looking to become efficient and, really fast with, cases and whatnot. I highly recommend just taking a look at this. Again, and I've seen some support agents that are just really, really quick and efficient and fast with support cases. And if you're really looking to improve your, your case volume and the speed, I would highly recommend reviewing this area. I'll click out of it for now, and then I'll click back to the drop down. Next is settings. This is just an area where you can update just your account password or just some really simple sound settings. Desk does have some simple sound settings in terms of like if you stay logged in, it'll warn you if you want to log out, and even your chat messages, so you can configure those. We'll go ahead and close out there. And then here we have our languages. So you do have the ability to change the native language for the agent console that you're in. So if I want to go ahead and change it to any other language, as you see here, I can go ahead and just toggle it. I'll go ahead and minimize that. And then lastly, we just have our option to sign out of Desk. So once you're done with your session, you can just go ahead and log out. All right, great. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at our inbox. So once again, wherever you are, if you navigate away from this screen, remember that you can click the agent inbox to bring you back home. So let's first take a look at a few of the important features here. So on the left-hand side, we have filters. Now filters, they dynamically pull in cases that correspond to a set of conditions that the admin sets. So think of this not as folders. So let's say if you were to get rid of like maybe the My Cases filter here, that doesn't delete all the cases within the actual filter. Again, these filters just surface cases through conditions. And If you'd like more information on setting up these filters, you can visit the Knowledgebase, our support center, or we also have a webinar on Thursday that kind of really goes into detail about this. So even for some of you guys that are agents, I think it might be even helpful to attend that Setting Up Desk.com webinar on Thursday. So moving on here. Your inbox, first of all, shows kind of the cases that haven't been resolved yet in its entirety. Next, under that, we see My Cases, and that shows cases that are assigned specifically to you. And those could have any case status, and we'll talk about case statuses in just a moment, open, pending, closed, resolved. And then here, out of the box, we have our All Cases filter, which simply shows all of the cases that have been in this system in its entirety. Now, and just to reiterate, to clarify, filters don't permanently store cases. They're different from folders that you would have on a computer. And again, you can always ask your admin to change these filters or maybe create a new filter that might be helpful for you guys. Let's say if you have maybe a specific tier 1, tier 2 group or an escalation group, you can create a filter specifically for those different groups. Now, just to the right, moving on, we have our checkboxes column. Here, you can select multiple cases by clicking into here, and then that'll bring up our bulk updater, which you can either change the case details or even reply in bulk. So with this, just make sure that when you are replying in bulk, that you have selected the same channel. So if I were to go ahead and select, 2 email ones and then a Facebook, then that wouldn't actually work for the bulk updater. It would have to be the same email channel that I'm doing, or the same Facebook channel, or the same Facebook or the same Twitter channel that I'm updating. So I can go ahead and select all, or I can deselect by clicking on the arrow here. All right, next we have our case status column here, and this indicates whether a case is new, open, pending, or resolved. So at a glance, we can see what type of cases are in a queue. And those are indicated by the icons here. So an open circle is open, half circle is pending, and eventually you'll see resolved and closed as well. Now, next to that, we have the type of case. So this tells us from what channel the case is coming from, whether it's phone, email, or social media. And then to the right, we have our subject area, and we see the subject of the incoming case. And in this subject area, not only do we get kind of just the title of like whatever it may be, the email or a social media case or whatnot, but we also have what we call filters. And I'll talk about this in a little bit more, but filters help us to actually recognize important actions that need to actually take place on a case. So let's say this one, we'll know that it's an escalated case, or this one we know that it's in regards to a refund. Now, these labels can be added manually by agents, or these can also be added by a system rule. So based off of maybe it's a keyword in the body of the message, or maybe it's the subject, or maybe it's the company. Maybe you have a VIP company, and for that company you want to pay extra close attention. So you can actually set up, your admin can set up rules to automatically add these types of labels so that they kind of visually pop up in your queue for you guys. All right, now before we get into how to manage and work on cases, I think it's good to look at tools that you guys as agents can use to answer questions that come from your customers. And that's kind of where the knowledge base comes from. And that's where it's really helpful. So we can actually access the knowledge base from a couple of different ways. Number one, we talked about the side menu, or you can actually open up the knowledge base from inside a case. But for now, let's go ahead and just access it through the side menu as we had before. So here, clicking on knowledge base. So again, this is all of your articles within your support center. Now, some of these can be external articles, or some of them can be private. And the really helpful thing about this is that, let's say that, you guys as support agents, you probably get cases that are, repetitive. You get the same question over and over. And this is where you can actually quickly go to a topic and go to an article and then quickly go ahead and just copy or paste either the link or the actual text into the reply to the customer. So you wouldn't have to navigate away from your console to go to your actual physical support center and then like copy the URL. You can do that all from within Desk. So the layout, as you see it here, is we have our topics, and articles live within topics, and only an article can only live within one topic. And then here you'll see the actual, as you kind of navigate through the different topics, you'll see kind of the articles changing here. So on the right, we can go ahead and click in, and we can actually go ahead and see the full article. We can also just search for whatever we're looking for also. And then, as I mentioned before, that you can create articles that are public facing or internal, and those are indicated by private here. So an example of a private article might be, let's say there's a specific escalation process, or maybe your agents need to process refunds. So this internal article could kind of walk your agents through processing refund or how to handle escalation. Now, the knowledge base, the internal knowledge base specifically, I think is really good for some of your newer agents that are still kind of learning processes and learning your product. It really kind of gives the ability for your new agents to act and feel like seasoned veterans and have a wealth of knowledge. So what I talked about before is on, let's say, a public facing article. Let's say they get a question they're not quite sure about. They can search the knowledge base and find the response. And then here we have an icon to go ahead and copy the link to the external article, if it is in fact an external article, or we can simply go ahead and copy the text directly to your clipboard, and then you can go ahead and insert that into the reply to the customer. So again, the ability to not have to navigate away from the agent console just to grab an article or whatnot. So this is extremely helpful as well. We also do have some filters up here, just in case you guys do have multiple brands, let's say. You can go ahead and search that way, and you can also go ahead and just change the sorting order as well. All right, so let's go ahead and close out of our knowledge base here. All right, and let's take a quick look at the search here. And I'm going to go ahead and type in the search term for order status. Let's give it just a second here. All right, and we'll see that we have some results in the main area here. So from here, we can preview a case, or we can go ahead and click directly into it as well. On the left-hand side, we see that we see any saved searches from your agents that they've actually looked for. Let's say it is a pretty common one, like order status. Like maybe daily, I want to check like what kind of order status cases that I'm getting. Then I can go ahead and once I've actually searched for an item, I can go ahead and save the search on the right-hand side here. And then by doing that, it'll appear on the left-hand side already here, as I've already saved it here. Now, we can further refine our search if we'd like by using the advanced search option here. So if we go ahead and click the down arrow, we can go ahead, let me go ahead and get rid of this confirm here. Great. So we can go ahead and further refine our search by including different words, or whether it's all words or any words or the exact words. We can also search by field. Let's say that there's a specific company that we want to search for, or something in the description, or maybe it's a specific label. We can go ahead and change those search parameters. And then we can go ahead and also further refine by saying we want to search cases, or we want to search a company name or a customer name specifically. So a lot of great kind of advanced search features there. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to our inbox here. So now let's go ahead and get into new case creation. So we're here in our universal inbox, and now when we click on new case creation here, um, it'll actually show you your active channels. Now, your active channels may look different from mine. Maybe your admin has added Twitter as well, or I mean, Facebook as well, or maybe they have not added social media. So only those channels that are available to you will show up here. And then what I'll actually do is let's go ahead and just say it's a phone case, and I'll go ahead and search for a customer, and I'll go ahead and search for Danny here, and here he is. And if you do need to create the customer, let's say that they're not in here. Let's say it's Danny J. I can go ahead and add new customer on the fly and add him here as so. So I'll go ahead and exit out that for now. And let's go with our customer Danny H for now. All right, and create case. All right, so I started to create a case and under Danny. So again, if we take a closer look, his details will show up here. Any kind of email, phone, address, or Twitter handle, they'll show up here. And also, not only will the customer information show up here, we'll see the company information as well. So anytime that this person or someone from this company emails in or phones in and we create a case, it'll create the customer under the specific company. And we designate this by the actual domain. So if there's an email domain, let's say rcc-sample.com, anytime we create a case that contains this domain, whether it's a phone case or email case, then it's going to automatically assign that customer to the company. So a really great way to keep track of customers. All right, so now that we've created the case, let's actually pause and take a look at life cycles and statuses of a case. On the right-hand side, we see some case details. So the first one that we want to take a look at is status. The first status that we actually see here is open. And open means that the case has been opened or updated, but a response hasn't yet been sent out back to the customer. An example of an update is a change of priority or an agent assignment. Okay. Next here we have pending. This is when a response has been sent to the customer already. So generally the status of pending means that the customer needs to respond or provide some type of additional information back to us. Next here we see resolved, which is when you believe that you've answered the customer's question in full and no further action from either parties is required. Now, when a customer does respond to a case that I've already resolved, then the case will simply just be reopened. Now, among these statuses, you'll notice that a status that's missing here is new. A case cannot be set to new once it's been opened, and that's why it doesn't appear here. A status of new means that a case has not been opened by any agent at all. Okay. Now, two other case statuses that you might be wondering about are closed and deleted. Closed cases cannot be edited or updated. That's why you won't see that here. And cases can only be closed using a time rule for now, meaning that they can't be closed manually by agents. Now, we recommend that customers don't activate a rule. Now, there is a rule that your admin can create where, let's say, if an agent applies a label, a specific label, then the system will automatically close the case. But we recommend, as you guys get started right now, that you don't activate that rule. Later, as you're more experienced and understand the implications of actually closing a case, then you can go ahead and do that. Now, the other case status that you might be wondering about is deleted. Now, and again, once again, depending on the admin, the agents may or may not have the ability to delete cases. And we also recommend for the time being that you don't enable this just yet. Maybe later when your agents or when all the agents are more comfortable with this, then you can go ahead and enable this. All right, let's actually hop back to the home screen here. And let's continue to talk about life cycles just a little bit more. Now, as I mentioned, we'll see the statuses of cases here. Again, when it is new, they'll appear in your filters again. And recognize that some case filters will contain certain statuses. So let's say your all cases will probably have a really good variety of case statuses, open, pending, closed, as you can kind of see here. And then your My cases will most likely have just open and pending when you do have them in your filters also. All right, so let's see here. Now let's actually go ahead and hop into one of my cases here. And you'll notice that as I work on cases, and let's say, the previous phone case with Danny, I didn't have, enough time to quite to finish that up yet. So if I hop into another case, again, they open up as tabs as well. So I can go ahead and open up multiple cases. And again, I can go ahead and switch back and forth between them as so here. All right. So let's actually walk through, replying to this case. So Regina, she's one of our customers. And so we have her case details already, and then she's automatically assigned to the company SWS Watches because this is a company that we worked with before. And for this one, in our example, it's just gmail.com, but typically customers will have a specific domain that automatically attaches a customer to a specific company. So here in the middle, we have the actual case interaction. So whether it's social media or email, we can go ahead and see the thread between ourselves and the customer, and you can actually scroll through it once we have maybe 5 or 10 interactions here. I can go ahead and reply to the customer directly. Okay. And once I do that, you'll notice that when I actually entered this reply, let me go ahead and delete it here. Right now, the only actions that we have is to resolve. And then once I actually go ahead and enter a reply, then and only then does it give me the option to now send or send and resolve. Here also, we have the ability to add notes. So a note is only viewable by internal agents. So only another teammate of mine that's in Desk can see this note. And then let's say that, I looked into this case and it's having some more technical issues. I can go ahead and add a note. And so that if I do need to hand this case off to another agent, they can see these notes and whatnot. Okay, let's actually go ahead and delete that for now. There's one thing I just want to show you as well. So I have added a reply here. And now because I did that, it gives me the option to send. But if I change any of the case details, meaning if I update the case in any other way other than a reply, let's say that I want to change the priority. Let's say that it seems pretty high priority because they can't log in. So if I do that, then it also now gives me the option to send, not only send, but send and update, as well as send, update, and resolve. And just to review one more time, you're typically going to send an update until you've completely resolved the case. And again, and you don't expect a response from the customer, then and only then would I actually send, update, and resolve. Let's say that my last reply to the customer is just a thank you note, then I can go ahead and send, update, and resolve. All right. At the top here, we have a couple of the icons. If I need to actually forward this case, so let's say that for any reason I need to forward this case to someone in my company that isn't using Desk. Let's say that I have like maybe an SVP that wants to take a look at this high profile customer. I can go ahead and forward the case details. I can just go ahead and enter the email as so and add any notes and forward the case. Also here, I have an option to integrate, and this is something that we can take a look at in the Setting Up Desk.com webinar, but if you want to add some integration links as well. And also I have some other case actions I can go ahead and again, deleting the case is is something that you have to enable agents to do. But if I needed to link a case, let's say that this actual login issue, I've seen this earlier today, so I want to go ahead and link this case to a previous one that I've seen. I can go ahead and just change the customer. Let's say that the domain isn't correct and I need to go and change it. Or let's even say that I have, the same customer emailing me, through multiple emails. I can go ahead and merge customers as well. Also here, in dealing with customers, sometimes they're going to email sensitive information like social security numbers or credit card informations. So if that ever happens and we don't want that information to appear all the time so readily, I can go ahead and hide certain types of information. Let's say that it was a credit card information here. Then so you'll see this note, this interaction has been hidden and can only be seen by agents. So then if I forward this case out to someone, or if I include other people like us into a CC, if I CC people onto this case interaction, then they won't be able to see it. And I can go ahead and make those visible once again here. Okay. I mentioned that sometimes you will need to include other customers. So if that's the case, I can go ahead and I can CC other people or even BCC individuals as well if ever needed. All right, so let's take a quick look at the case details on the right-hand side here. So again, we talked about statuses already. Priorities, we have priorities of 1 to 10, 10 being critical, 10 being high in Desk. We also have groups. So let's say that you do have different support tiers within your organization. You can create, groups for escalations, or let's say that you have a part of your support group that's really technical, so you can go ahead and set up those. Or maybe you want to just have a supervisor group or whatnot. You can create those here. So I can assign specific cases not only to a specific agent, as so here I can go ahead and just put it into a group that can then be picked up by filter. So only the escalation group can see this case or whatnot. As I mentioned, we can go ahead and add labels. So here, labels, once again, can be added by a system rule, so automatically by the system, or agents can actually individually add labels as well. So I can go ahead and click in here. If I click into the field, I'll see the labels that are available here. So I can go ahead and click on login issue here, and I can add multiple ones here as well. Now, also your agent or your admin has the ability to allow or disallow for agents to create labels on the fly. So in my system, I've actually created it so that I can actually create a label on the fly. So whatever I go ahead and put here, I can go ahead and click on it and it'll actually add that label. So some people like to be a little bit more restrictive in terms of what we can add. And this actually may be because, for reporting purposes, we want to only have a subset of labels to actually do that. Now, some customers do choose to use labels as kind of categorizations, but we, as a best practice, we really recommend that labels be used more to kind of describe action items, or kind of to describe the case a little bit more in terms of what the type of case is about, like an escalation or a refund or login issues. And again, let's say that in a particular case, we want to categorize certain products that we're getting questions about. I would recommend that labels would not be the place to do that. What you can actually do is create a custom field. So your admin can create custom fields to actually do this. So, whether it's trying to capture more information about a customer, or maybe it's like a line of 10 products that you offer and you want to capture which product that the customer is asking about, I would actually create those in custom fields to categorize those more. Okay. You'll also see any other custom fields that you've created. And then if we scroll down here, we can also see any attachments. Let's say the customer has, included some photos or screenshots. You can see those here. You can also see other cases that you've linked to this one. So again, if I have a customer that's, have a company that's emailed about login issues this morning and later this afternoon, I can link all those cases together. And then I can also see a case timeline. This is actually really useful because you can see every single interaction that's happened on this case, whether it was by another agent. Let's say, we want to see which agents have worked on this case or have even simply opened up the case. Or we can also see which system rules have acted on this. So we want to see at what time a specific label was added or anything like that. We can actually go ahead and see, or we want to see who updated this specific priority field. We can see that information here just by scrolling through. So a lot of really valuable information through the case timeline. All right. Let's see, and I think that is the majority of the information. And then, well, let's go ahead and just walk through actually updating this. So I'll go ahead. I did change the priority. Went ahead and added a reply. And then let's go ahead and just add a note here for fun. Notes. And then I can go ahead and send an update. All right, and so the reply has been sent. And here we have the option to close tab. So upon sending or resolving, we can have the system automatically close this case. So let's actually close this one just to show you. So if I went ahead and send this one, and since my close tab box is checked, it's going to send and automatically close that case, and it'll take you back to the home box here. All right. So that's the majority of the information that I wanted to review with you guys, kind of a walkthrough of the agent console, as well as kind of walking through kind of basics of case management. Let's just hop back to the PowerPoint here. All right, so we talked about what Desk is. We kind of walked through the universal inbox and kind of navigated you through the system. We also talked about case management, the knowledge base, and case life cycles. All right, and so we have a ton of resources that are really helpful. First is support.desk.com. And actually, instead of just showing you this screen, let me actually walk you through our support center. So one way to get there would be through the sidebar menu here, Get Help. So if I click on that, it'll open you up to support.desk.com, or you can simply just access it through the URL itself, support.desk.com. But here, there are a lot of really great resources. We have articles that are sectioned off into topics. So getting started, agent, admin, and developer. We have some popular articles. We have a couple different ways to contact us. You can join our community. You can email us. You can phone us in. And we also have our system status here if you're ever curious. Now, some other resources that I wanted to point you guys to. If you hover over Help here, we have our video support center that you can access through this icon. Or if you click on this play button here, and it'll open up to Video Support Center, and then click into it. This will take you to our library of videos. So these are also kind of broken off into getting started, admin, and agent videos. And really, these videos will range from anywhere from quick 2 to 3 minute tutorials to anywhere from half an hour to an hour webinars talking about specific topics. So I highly recommend walking through kind of this just to familiarize yourselves with some of these actions, like understanding what a macro does, or getting a little bit more information about business insights. And even this training itself, we also post here as well in getting started. I will email out today's live one, but we also have the Desk.com agent overview here as well. All right, jumping back to help. One last thing I did want to review as well is our office webinars. So today you attended the agent training, but I do think it's also valuable for you guys as agents to also understand the admin side. So feel free to attend the admin training, which is going to be on Thursday as well. And then another really great resource for you guys is going to be our desk office hours. So this is a session where we block out a full hour, and this is just to allow you guys to actually kind of play around with the system, walk through the system, and then tomorrow, if you have more in-depth questions, then we kind of really let this be an open forum, and we even allow for screen sharing if you guys are okay with that. If you're seeing any kind of issues or troubleshooting, or if you want us to maybe walk you through a little bit further on a specific feature, the desk office hours would be really great for that. And again, that's tomorrow at 10:30 Pacific Daylight Time. And again, these are actually held every Wednesday. So whenever you have a question, feel free to attend that. All right. And let's hop back here. And as always, we don't want you to feel stuck. So anytime you have questions, feel free to email us at support@desk.com, or again, you can phone in if you have any questions. All right. So let's go ahead and open up the time for a Q&A. Give me 1 second just to check the queue here. All right, and looks like we don't have any questions just yet. I will stay on the line if you guys continue to if you have any questions. But let's go ahead and see if I can share some other resources with you here. So one really great resource here. So in our support center, if I search for onboarding guide, and again, I know that this training specifically is for agents. But I think it's nice for you guys as agents to understand the admin side of things. So this is a really great onboarding guide. So if I click in here, it kind of walks through suggested setup items, and then this will actually have hyperlinks to the actual articles in Desk. So, talking about understanding more about users and groups, understanding more about the specific channels, whether it be email or Facebook or Twitter, also understanding filters a little bit more. I think if you dive into filters and really understand the possibilities of what your admins can set up for you, I think that's really helpful. Also, even custom fields. Maybe you guys as agents want to be able to capture more information in a specific field rather than typing that information into a description field. I think that would also be really helpful as well. So check out this article. It has a lot of great resources as well. Again, that's the onboarding guide in our support center. Another really great one here, I'm going to go ahead and type in training, see if I can find it here. We have our Next Gen Agent training here. So this is a really great kind of cheat sheet. If you want to print it out and keep it next to your desk, if I click into it, it's a PDF. So it's a visual representation of kind of all the things that I went over today. Let's actually scroll down just a little bit more here, pointing out kind of all the icons that we have here. What all of them do. Even talking a little bit about kind of the navigation, and even when we actually click into a case, what this looks like, the knowledge base. So really kind of a cheat sheet for your really basic, desk items here, even talking about life cycles here as well. All right, so I highly recommend this as well. And again, if you just type in training, you'll see our new agent next gen training guide here. All right, let me go back one more time to see if we have any other questions. All right, looks like we actually don't. What I'll do is I will stay on the line in case people do have questions, but what I'll do is I'll actually officially end today's webinar here. And I will email out the recording to you guys afterwards. Again, thank you for taking the time out to attend today's webinar and learn about the Agent Console. And we look forward to seeing you on other webinars. All right, have a great day, everyone.